Okay, so I made a skimpy video about this yesterday. So now I'm gonna give you a little bit more. I went to my first powwow, 50, yesterday, and it's supposed to start at 11 to 4. But when I received the text, I can actually show you that. Let me rephrase that. I can attempt to show you that. Yeah, so now y'all know what that looks like. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to read it, but so right there, the gates open at 11, and it'll go until like 12 or something. Yeah, gates open at 11 a.m. Grand entry at 12. So I only thought it was gonna be an hour, but it wound up going from 12 to 4. But I was actually there at 10:55 because I wanted to find the place. So they gave me the directions to the garage. And fun fact, it was in a place I once filmed the fight scene for the Dragon's Breath. So that was fun. And got there, got to talking with some natives, man. Got some information. I got the pamphlet over here. So this guy here, he's a vendor. So shout out to Mr. Eric Cricket's Void. I can't pronounce that. But shout out to nativestatesproject.com. So that way you guys know, go find this guy. He has good gear. And I didn't take any money with me because I didn't know there would be vendors there because it's my first powwow. All the vendors and stuff were all native, doing all kinds of native stuff. They had a food truck. Again, I didn't take any money with me because I didn't know there was going to be vendors there. I've never been to a powwow before a day in my life. As a 50-year-old mixed native, that should be shameful, and on some levels it is. But I also had my preconceived notions. So to the native community, I do apologize because honestly, as a mixed native, I didn't think we were that fucking allowed. No, shame on my part because I should have did more research. Sorry, my keyboard has some dust or something on it. Anyway, I didn't know that mixed people were allowed there. The guys I spoke to, some of them were mixed. I watched the powwow. I was in the circle when they let the vets in, because I didn't know. I didn't think they believed me, so I did show my cat card right after we got finished doing the two-step thing. And I call it the two-step because every 2 steps we take a step, and then we take 2 steps, and then we take a step. I have never participated in a powwow before. I would love to do it again. I kind of felt at home. So, you know what? I missed out on a lot as a child. I missed out on a fucking lot. But I guess this was destiny, you could say, or it was the hands of fate that I was clearly not fighting. But I was nervous as hell. I had never been to a powwow. I got to talk to a guy from the Chickahominy tribe. I explained to him that my great grandmother came from Charles City and that she was native. And he said that she was also probably Chickahominy. I talked to another guy from a different tribe. I saw a girl from California who was also one of the dancers, and I didn't record a goddamn thing. I did live it on TikTok, but I didn't know how to save the lives, so I can't download the lives. But it was a blast, yo. The other thing that was missing was I never noticed that none of the natives had knives, you know, and I was always taught that a native always has a knife. Apparently, I'm mistaken. If any of you natives can correct that, blame it on my great grandmother. Natives always have knives. My grandmother always had her hatchet. Anyway, which technically she's my great grandmother because I still have her hatchet. I think it was a hatchet hammer combo, but it's rustic and I sleep with it. I feel safe with it, but you know, it's there. But you know, the thing is, man, um, I had never been to one ever, and I will say it was probably the strangest and best experience of my life. For 50 years, I've never been to a powwow ever. I'm kind of mad at my dad because it's more native on his mom's side than on his dad's side. And I'm like, y'all didn't do any of this shit as a kid? It's like, wow, man. So, yeah, there are some disadvantages to being mixed if your family doesn't keep up with tradition. I am so angry, like so fucking angry, but I'm elated at the same time. I'm not like pissed off angry, like I'm gonna go dig up my ancestors and start throwing her a beating. I'm not that angry, but I'm mad that the only thing she ever told me was vocal, and how her and her brothers would run through the wilderness in their Native American clothing. So yeah, I'm totally flabbergasted. But yeah, I had a good time. I am not gonna lie, I had a fucking blast for my first powwow. Now it wasn't my first powwow opportunity, but it's the first powwow I had. They had a couple more powwows here in Charlottesville. I missed them because when they removed the Sacagawea statue, they had a powwow as a ceremony to remove the Sacagawea statue, and then right down the street, they had the same day, I think, or the same powwow area, or same week, whatever. They had another one for the removal of the statue across from what is now the Mellow Mushroom, and I think the Red Roof Inn. It used to be a Howard Johnson's. How do I know that? Because my friend David and I got stuck in an elevator because he dared me to do something stupid, and I did. And luckily for us, the elevator let us off on the wrong floor. Yes, that is a confession, but I was like 12. So, yeah. Anyway, that being said, I didn't really want them to remove the statue. I wanted them to replace it. Alright? And now I'm going to explain that before I end the video. Why did I want them to replace the two statues? One, Sacagawea led Lewis and Clark from the East Coast to the West Coast safely. And they had her kneeling on the picture. They had her kneeling. Well, the statue, they had her kneeling, and that's unacceptable. The other statue on the same street, down the street, had one native with his blanket. That's not really called a blanket, but you know, it's a blanket, but it's called something else in native language. And the other guy had a weapon drawn at him, and he was like up on a horse, and they had some other soldiers around him, and I wanted them to replace that and make it more native friendly, because that would have been better to replace it with native friendly statues versus nothing. You can still honor the natives. You can make Sacagawea this way, pointing to the West Coast, which would have been a better honor than to just completely remove her completely. No. And if I had a way to push for that to happen, I'd be all on top of that. But I'm not on top of that, and I don't know how to get that going. But the natives also worked really hard to get rid of that statue, and I don't want to go against that. So, that being said, it would be great if the natives saw it my way and say, let's honor Sacagawea, and let's put her ass back on that statue, pointing west, and have Lewis and Clark standing behind her. But let's not forget that Sacagawea took her husband and her baby with her on that trail. Have those three in the front. The husband of Sacagawea could be pointing west, with the baby cradled in the middle or on the back sack, and then have Lewis and Clark standing in post guard behind them, you know, with their rifles, the way it probably actually was. And then when you get down there, you could also have Sacagawea, her husband, and Lewis and Clark talking peacefully to the native that was in the blanket. So that's my thought on that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm Echo Fan Grable. This is Coming for Epic number 2. Be seeing